Hi, this is Courtney Holland. I'm here working on our assignment from the best practice text over chapters 4 and 5, comparing the English approaches to the mathematics approaches. So after reading through the text, I feel like there's many similarities between the two approaches. The first one I noticed was that the English approach stated on page 140 that to provide opportunity for the students to experience and complete the writing process. And then the mathematics approach on page 168 stated to help all students understand the mathematics in a dynamic, coherent, and interconnected set of ideas. So this idea of understanding the subject as a whole and not just random pieces of disconnected information, I feel like can really be vital in any content area. When you think about a history class, you want the students to think about it as just the history of the world or of the United States, whatever topic, not just, oh, we're talking about this war right now, and then we're going to talk about this other war in a couple weeks, or you want them to say, how are those two wars connected? Did they learn anything from the previous war that helped them? Anyway, so you just kind of want all subjects really to be this coherent, cohesive string of material and not just disconnected pieces. So the next similarity I found was that both approaches involve support for the students. So the English approach discussed being there for the students when they get started with a writing assignment, and then continuing that support throughout their writing. The mathematics approach stated to support all students to understand and use mathematics powerfully. If we are truly wanting to change and educate these students, teacher support is arguably the number one tool to get them to succeed. We must always, in any content, be willing to support the students. I've actually had a new experience this year teaching with other graduate assistants that are not necessarily going to continue in the education field. They're just here to be a graduate assistant and teach one or two classes as a job, and not because they want to be educators. And so that's one area I see a huge difference in their classroom versus mine. And I'm not trying to be negative about anyone, but I just noticed that I seem to support the students more and care more about supporting the students than they do just being an educator and knowing how important teacher support is. I think a lot of people don't know how important that is, or they learn the hard way. So another similarity I saw involved assessment. Both chapters supported assessment as an important tool to inspire learning. The mathematics chapter suggested that assessment provide an understanding of what students know and that it guides the future learning and discussions. And then the English chapter simply states to use the evaluations constructively and effectively. I think the main emphasis here is to let the assessment be a tool to productively move forward with the learning. This is relevant in all content areas. We must be able to evaluate where the students are and what they have comprehended before moving on. In order to build these subjects as the one big connected web that we talked about, we must continually make sure that they're grasping all the pieces along the way. The final similarity that I found, which was huge, was making real-world connections. This is big in mathematics. Especially from my personal experience, you get the kids that always say, where are we going to use this? How does this apply to me? The English chapter actually suggests finding relevant topics to write about and then real audiences to reach, while the mathematics chapter suggests to use real-world, authentic content that's inherently meaningful to the students. This idea of keeping the content relevant and meaningful is what will keep our students engaged. This is why students are often more engaged in their non-core courses, because those classes often incorporate more engaging content. Across the board of education, teachers need to be looking for ways in all content areas to make the learning meaningful and relevant. If we can make the learning meaningful, then we will undoubtedly reach more students. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you got something out of my video.